Why did so many guys bitch and moan about online dating? Let's talk about that. I'm Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We do 5 videos a week here on how to make both your business life and your woman life more free, because you need both. By the way, we're doing a drawing giveaway right now for one of my online courses. This is the course on how you can design your own location-independent business. It retails for $1,400, and you might be able to get it for free. All you have to do is be a subscriber here at YouTube, like this video, and leave a comment. And that's it. And every 2 weeks, I will announce the winner at the YouTube community at this YouTube channel. Now, how and why do you get so much complaining and so much bitching and whining and moaning about online dating when you don't seem to get that level of complaint in other types of dating or pickup? So as I've talked about before in my books and my blogs, you've got basically 4 types of pickup or dating, if you will. You've got online dating, you have night game, so picking up women at bars and clubs late at night. You've got day game, real life approach during the day, usually during the day in normal places. And then you have social circle game. So you have those 4. And unlike most guys who come out of the pickup artist world, I don't care which of those 4 you pick. All 4 of these work if you do them correctly. That's a big if for a lot of you guys. If you do them correctly, they all work. And as far as Alpha 2.0 is concerned, it doesn't matter which one you do as long as you're very good at one of them. So you've got it. Your job as an Alpha Male 2.0 is to pick one of these 4, the one you like the most or hate the least, as the case may be, and get reasonably decent at it, so you have the ability to bring new women into your life whenever you need to, because you will need to, because you're never going to be monogamous. That's how it works. Okay. Why do you get so much complaining regarding online dating specifically? Well, I will tell you. There's 2 reasons. First is, let's compare online dating to something like day game. Now, how come the internet isn't full of guys who are bitching and moaning about day game? Screaming that day game doesn't work, and day game is a scam, and day game's bullshit, and you get some of those guys. And as I have reported, both night game guys and day game guys have reported in the last 10 to 12 years that night game and day game has also become more difficult, just like online dating has become more difficult. All types of game have become more difficult for various sociological reasons that we can't get into in this video that I've discussed before. So all forms of dating have become more difficult, except for maybe social circle game. And I tend to lean in the direction of social circle game guys are actually better off. In other words, the social circle game might actually be easier than it was 15 years ago. So online, night and day, those types of game are harder, but social circle game might be easier. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. Based on what I've seen, I think that's the case. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. Why do you have so many guys bitching about online dating versus bitching about day game? Well, here's a very simple question. What percentage of men in the world do day game? Yeah, virtually no one as a percent. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of 1% that actually do day game, right? Right, okay. How many guys do online dating or have at least tried online dating? All of them. All of them. Everyone does online dating. So the amount of men who have attempted online dating and the amount of men who have attempted day game, you can't even compare those 2 things. So of course, you're gonna get a lot more bitching and complaining from guys regarding online dating than you do with day game. Now, I am working very hard on a new updated online dating manual. A lot of other people working very hard on this. As always, I'm working hard to give you the information and give you the tools that you need to be successful in these areas. You've got to be patient. If you're not patient, you can buy the current version of it. It's at, let's see, onlinedatingssuccessnow.com. I had to think for a minute because I have a lot of websites. And you can buy that book, and that book will help you. So don't worry. There will always be data on this coming from my world. So don't worry about that. But in terms of the negativity that you're hearing about this on online dating over the last 10 years, the reason you're going to get a mound of it is because millions upon millions upon millions, if not hundreds of millions of men are trying online dating or have attempted online dating in the past, when a teeny fraction of 1% of those men have tried day game. Make sense? Online dating has a very low barrier to entry, so more guys have tried it, which leads into the second reason why you have a lot of complaining about online dating, which is, let's compare it again to day game. When a guy does day game, when he goes out and actually attempts day game, do you think he just half-asses it? You think he just, wings it? Or does he instead do a lot of research and do a lot of practice and try to do it right the first time? Yes. And I know this of day game guys. A lot of you are day game guys. One of the great things about day game guys that I really appreciate is that these guys are very focused. They're very methodical. They're very careful. They don't just go out and say hi and try to get laid. They actually do the research. They read some articles. They read some books. They experiment with different things. They try new things. They optimize their physical appearance. They do everything they can, even if they're newbies, to do very well at day game, because day game is kind of a process, isn't it? I used to do day game a bazillion years ago for a few months, and it's a lot of work. It's a process. And so guys who attempt day game, that teeny tiny fraction of 1%, tend to take the extra time and effort, and there's a lot of extra time and effort with day game, so I don't do it, to do it right. That's how guys with day game work. Are there exceptions? Of course, there are always exceptions, but generally speaking, that's how guys work with day game. It's just how it works. Now, is that true with online dating? No. I can tell you, as Black Dragon, as an online dating content provider for, let's see, 11 or 12 years now, I've been talking about online dating. Guys, I have spoken with or communicated with literally thousands of men regarding online dating. Guys, when they attempt online dating, don't do any of that stuff that day game guys do. What they do is they just take a few selfies, or they find some old pictures they took of themselves 2 or 3 years ago. They throw them up on a website. They throw up whatever text they can think of. They just start swiping chicks. When they get a match, they just do whatever opener falls out of their head. There is no mathematics to it. There's no sequence to it. There's no strategy to it. They just try it. And so, of course, when these millions of men do this and do it wrong, big fucking shock, it doesn't work. And so they complain. Online dating's bullshit. Online dating doesn't work. No, online dating works fine. I do just well, and I've been done well with it for a very long time, and a lot of my readers have, a lot of you have, because you take the time to do it correctly. And the challenge with online dating is, it's both the blessing and the curse of online dating, is that online dating has a very low barrier to entry, so any guy can try it, but that's also the downside. Any guy can try it. Any moron can just whip up any picture he happens to have in his fucking cell phone and throw up something on Bumble and just, go to town and just wing it. And of course, it doesn't work. In order for any dating system to work, you have to do it correctly. You have to read. You have to read from people who have done it before you, who have made it work. You have to emulate what they've done. You have to do it correctly. Online dating in particular, I've said this a billion times, I'll say it probably a billion more. 80% of your success with online dating is the quality of your photos. That's it. You can do everything else perfectly with online dating and have mediocre photos, and you will never get laid, even if you are literally perfect on everything else. So that's an example. There's a lot of things we could cover, and I'll cover that in future videos. I've covered that in the book, and I'll cover that in more material. But my point is, you've got to do this right every step of the way. Any system, be it day game, fixing your car, starting a business, online dating, is a system. Every step needs to be done correctly. You can't fucking wing it. If you wing it, you won't get laid unless you look like Brad Pitt. And even if you look like Brad Pitt, as I've talked about in the past, I have personally spoken with guys who look that good who can't get laid because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You have to do it correctly. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Caleb, I've done everything. I've done everything correctly. I read your entire book. I've read so-and-so's book. I've looked at a bunch of articles. I went through my photos and blah, 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 and I'm still not getting any results with online dating. One of two answers to that question. Number one, you actually haven't. You think you've done everything right, but you haven't. I have spoken with guys who said, I've done everything right, and then I look at their photos and they're fucking terrible. They didn't take any of my photo advice, or very little of it. They didn't do it right. So the odds are good. If you think you've done everything right and you still haven't gotten laid, you probably haven't. Odds are good you haven't. Maybe you have, it's possible, but unlikely. Second thing, I've said this many times, if you live in a small town, online dating isn't going to work. And on a regular basis, I get emails from guys saying, I live in a small town, so how do I make this work? You can't. You can't make this work. If you live in a town with population 37,000 people, online dating's not going to work. I'm sorry. You need to, what do you need to do? What am I going to say? Move. You need to fucking move. Caleb, I can't move. I didn't, as always, I'm going to repeat this again. I didn't say move tomorrow. I didn't say move this weekend. Make a plan to get the fuck out of there as soon as you can. 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever you can, get out of the town and move to a larger city, or at least in the vicinity of a larger city. I don't live in a large city, but I live in the vicinity of a large city. I live within 40, 45 minutes away from a city of 2.2 million people, which is just enough. If you live in, even if you live in a small city, if you live in a city, I've talked about this in my online dating manual, if you live in a city with under 1 million people, it's rough. It's going to be rough. Online dating is possible, but it's going to be tough. So even if you do everything perfectly, even if your photos are perfect, if you live in a small town, I'm very sorry. You really have only one option at that point. If you live in a small town, you want to make this work. You have to, and I know guys who do this, you have to, on the weekends, you're going to have to get in your car and drive 3 hours to your nearest largest city. And I know guys who do this. I know guys who, you know, I got to give them props too. At least they do it. They don't bitch and moan and complain. They actually do this. They live out in the middle of nowhere, live in small towns. And Friday night when they get off work, they hop in their car and they drive to the nearest big city. It might be 3 hours away. They're in their car for 3 hours. They get a hotel room for 2 nights. And they meet women and get laid on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday night they drive back home and they get back to work. You can do that. Those are your options really if you live in a small town. Nothing around that. So you've got to do everything right. Even if you think you're doing everything right, you're probably not. And you can't live in a small town. And just remember, when you see a lot of negativity about online dating online, remember these statistics. Every guy has fucking tried online dating and only a teeny tiny percentage actually take the time to do it right. I have a lot more resources coming on this. Don't worry, I'm always here to help. But there's only so much I can fucking do. I can show you the door. You have to open the door and step through the door. All I can do is show you the correct door. I can't do it for you. If you need more help with your online dating or any dating in general, you can join my coaching and online training program at joinsmic.com. In the meantime, you can click here to learn about what country to move to escape the collapsing Western world, or you can click here to learn about whether or not you should do monk mode. See you soon.